I don't understand why you're supporting the government side. To continue with my point, the government provides essential social services to people. All the citizens are able to access the services offered by the government, while the private sectors, their main objective is to achieve profit.
Honestly, I'm very grateful to be here in front of you. And I feel supercalifragistic to be here. Guys, I'm here for...
Talked about overcoming the problem of poverty is not a gesture of charity, but the act of justice. They was pointing that the problem and the problem
student performers in karate. Ambala Kassier is also the second judge. Kassier Namara is known for his analysis in macrobiology. He's an expert in macrobiology. Judge number 3, allow me also to call upon judge number 2, Ambala Kassier is also the second judge. Kassier Namara is known for his analysis in macrobiology. He's an expert in macrobiology. Judge number 3, Wajirimana Innocent It's gonna be judge number 3. We clap for him. Once again, on the table of judges, we have also Moses Sidio. Moses Sidio is a professional expert in literature, African literature and European literature. He has debating many years. He's gonna keep in for last time. He's the timekeeper of our session. The motion of the day is this house agreed that the problems of the nation are better than solved by the private sector rather than the government. We have two sides here that are gonna battle together. Starting from the proposition side, team proposition, we have speaker number 1, who is known as Rusumo. Brian, please rise up and clap for you. The second speaker, his name is Isingizwe Cesar. Once again, the third speaker, her name is Benita Ilanzi. Finally, the fourth speaker, his name is Chimi Muchiza Fidel. We clap for them, please. On the side of team proposition, the first speaker, his name is Kanyele Dani. We clap for him, please. Thank you very much. The second speaker who is gonna opposing the motion is Morache Beni. We clap for her, please. Once again, the third speaker, his name is Ejid Hakizimana. We clap for them for Paysannat LA. Once again, for the fourth speaker, is known as Kanyana Jolie on proposition side. Thank you very much.
Dear leaders, dear teachers, dear proposition side and the dear opposition side and the dear audience, good afternoon. I am here by the names of Shema Gilles. I am the teacher from GSP Sama Elo A in Mahama. I'm standing in front of you as a chairperson of this debate, hoping to be taught as to should. Allow me to tackle the motion of today. It is saying this house regulates that the problem of the nation are better solved by private sector rather than the government. I think yes, and I think no. With the proposing side, we have S. Rusumo, and the opposing side, we have GS Paysannat LOAs. Let's see whether the motion is going to be lost or taken. Yes I'm here and you're here. So we have some instructions, and if you ask a permission, wait until you are given the permission. For the speakers, only one interruption is allowed, and only one supplementing argument is allowed. Think your mind about that. So if the instruction for the speakers understood, let's go to the instruction regarding to the audience. Dear audience, I repeat, audience, discipline is a must. Are you getting me? If you want, in the case you want to appreciate, sometimes it happens. You have been appreciating even the past sessions, yes? By clapping, by making a round of applause, a round of noise, but no, now it is not allowed. If you want to appreciate the argument of the team you are supporting, whether you are supporting proposing side or you are supporting opposing side, you are not allowed to clap. But there are other things that you are allowed. We are not limiting your lights. You are allowed a knock. I think you understand. Another thing you are allowed to stamp your feet. I think it is not making noise. Are we together? So, as long as you clap, you are consuming the time of the speaker, because the speaker is going to wait for you to finish your clapping and he continues. Are we together? I think that is, you will do.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, judges, invited guests, plus my fellow debaters from both sides. I'm by the names of Rusumo Brand from Rusumo, and I'm standing in front family to propose the motion which says that this house regrets that the problems of the nation are better solved by the private sector rather than the government. And we, as the proposing side, we agree it 100% that the government it is in a better position to solve the problems of the nation. I'm proposing this motion using the following reasons. Dear judges, allow me to project my ideas. My first point says that the government prioritizes public interest. The government is there to provide equal education to all the citizens in the country, whereby, for example, we can take an example in Rwanda. The government provides equal service or equal access to the education to all the people in Rwanda so that they can get education. But for the private sector, for them, what they do, they construct schools based on profit, whereby they can raise the school fees, which is only affordable for those who are rich, not for these people in villages. And for on the side of the government, for it is there to solve those problems. And for my second, and according to the RDB, Rwanda Development Board, it shows that it's that 70% of the government expenditure it is inserted in the social welfare being. And let me move to my second point, which says that the government ensures equality. When you talk about equality, so that all the people should be equal, should feel that they are equal to anything inside the country. But on side of the private sector, for them, their aim is to exploit money from the citizens to gain more and much. But on the side of the government, it inserts or it provides services even though they are not profitable. Not aiming that it will get profit or loss, but it is always provide services without any aim of gaining something from its citizens. But on the private sector, for them, they are there to make profit only, not even thinking on those people who are in villages, because all the people are not equal. And my last point says that the government protects monopoly and exploitation. When you talk about monopoly, you see many private sectors, they raise the prices so that they can gain more. But the government, it is there to regulate all those prices which are inserted by those private sectors, so that the citizens in that country, so that they can it regulates the price so that which is affordable to all the Rwandans. Because I'm using Rwanda as an example, I can conclude by saying that, dear judges, the government, it is in a better position to solve the problems of the citizens, whereby the government, it is there to solve the problems and to provide solutions for the problems people are facing. Thanks.
The first speaker from opposing side.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson, dear judges, timekeeper, the guests of honor, our head teacher, our beloved teachers from GS Paysannat LA, two antagonistic parties, and the Alcamation. Good afternoon. I'm so delighted to be in front of you to discuss about this resolution stating that the problems of the government, of the nation, are better solved by the private sector than the government. On my rebuttal, I can totally 100% ask I would like to make the side clarify that the first speaker has said our voice. Was he proposing or opposing the motion? Now let me with time. Now I can just start by defining the keywords in the motion. The problems of the nation, these are the challenges affecting the nation. The private sector, these are business owned by different individuals with the aim of making profits. The government is the ruling body of the country to provide public services to the natives. Now, having defined the keywords in the motion, let me start by arguing on opposition side. Now, my first idea about the resolution is that the government takes roles in making sure that the natives make sure that it carries out what we call crisis management. In terms of natural calamities like landslides, in terms of pandemic diseases like COVID-19, Marburg, and whatever, the government tried its level best to solve those cases by purchasing different drugs from foreign countries. Now, my second view about the resolution is that the government carries out what we call making sure that the natives' problems are solved. Like I can focus on socialism. Socialism is the system of governance where the economic aspects, all economic aspects in a certain country are governed by the government. People are getting help from the government. The government owns each and every economic aspect in the country, and hence in return provide each and everything to the natives, including the education, health care, and among others needed by the natives. Now, I can culminate by saying that the problems of natives are solved better by the government rather than private sectors because of the government's roles in maintaining crisis management, protecting vulnerable groups of people, and ensuring inequality among the natives. That's all about my side. Thank you, the right honorable chairperson.
I point of interruption.
No. Integrated down.
If the permission to interrupt you is denied, submit your case.
Now I can submit my case by saying that due to different laws spread by the government in ensuring inequality, maintaining peace against the natives, providing providing necessities to the natives like in form of utilities like electricity and among others needed by the natives. This has helped the government or different governments of different countries to make sure that the problems of the natives are solved better than depending on private sectors. Thank you for this juncture. My name, I remain as Danny, the outgoing first main speaker. Bye-bye.
As long as you can also deny. Are we together? But all the points, either denial or allowance, they are considered by judges. Second speaker from proposing side, have a talk.
Thank you, Chairperson. Dear judges, two antagonistic chambers, dear guests who are joined in this hall, and good afternoon. I'm by the names of Isinjus Gososa from ES Rusumo, and I'm standing here firmly proposing today's motion 100%, which states that this House regrets that the problems of the nation are better solved by the private sector rather than the government because of the following reasons. First of all, from my point of view, the opposition side are acting as like they are on our side. I think they have not clearly understood the motion. If you have clearly understood the motion, how does the motion state? The motion states that this House regrets. First of all, regret means to feel sorrow for, meaning that we as the opposition side are feeling sorrow for that the private sector are in position of solving the problems of the nation. So we are supporting the government side. If you are on the opposition side, you are supposed to be supporting the private sectors. I don't understand why you are supporting the government side. To continue with my point, the government provides essential social services to people. All the citizens are able to access the services offered by the government, while the private sectors, their main objective is to achieve profit. Profit is nothing because all people don't have money. The services are gotten by the people are only accessed by the wealthier people, hence neglecting the vulnerable and poor people in the country. That is not solving the problems of the government. That is solving the problems of only the privileged people. Secondly, the government ensures equality and social cohesion. As I was saying, for example, the government establishes the national constitution, which is in charge of which is a set of rules and regulations that support all people, meaning that all people are not above the law. Everyone is equal about the law, meaning that the services provided by the government, all people have access on them. All people have equal and full rights on every service offered by the government, whereas the private sectors offer services for only the wealthy people. This was evidenced by the speech of President Franklin Roosevelt in 1932, where he said that the government's main duty is to provide for even the poorest person who is at the bottom of the economic pyramid. This indicates that all people in a nation, from the highest to the poorest person in the country, is able to access all the services, and the government is in charge of providing those services. Thirdly, the government is accountable to the public. I can give an example here for the problems that arise in the nation. For example, when a public school is not functioning, a public school which is funded by the government is not functioning, all people, all citizens depending on that school ask questions and complain to the government why the school is not functioning. Whereas when it's a private sector, when it's a private school, a school owned by independent individuals who are not under the government. The school may stop to operate, but the people cannot find where to complain about that. They cannot find where to complain about the malfunctioning of the schools authority because it is not governed by the government. Thank you. That was all my views for this motion.
Judges, Honorable Chairperson, fellow debater, good afternoon. I'm here as a speaker from opposing side. By name of Mora K. Beni, I have come here to support the motion. We state that this House regrets that the problem of the nation are better solved by the private sector rather than the government. I'm supporting the government, but I know why proposer side they are come here to support the government, but I know our side they are supporting the government. My first idea states that equal service distribution. When I talk of that here, I mean government ensures services reach everyone, including poor or rural communities, while private sector operates where they can make profit. My second idea states that ability to make national security. Government protection is the primary duty of the protection of the country is the primary duty of the government. But the private sector cannot have the responsibility to protect your country. All right? My third idea states that ability to make national security. Government has law to create, has responsibility to create law and order that may guide all countries. I have an rebuttal. Private sector which based on profit may only solve the problem efficiently, but the government can take long time to approach the problem without basing on profit. Between the government and private sector, which one can solve the problem? I can conclude by saying that and vocalizing my voice. Due to equal services, national security responsibility to national government can solve the problem of the nation later than the government, later than the private sector. Thank you.
Let's welcome the third speaker from proposing side.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson, respected judges, timekeeper, and my fellow debaters, and all the audience at the large. So I stand here formally by the names of Ilans Benita, a student of Rusumo. So I'm from proposition side to argue on the motion which said that this House regrets that the problems of the nations are better solved by the private sector rather than the government. We as proposers, we support this motion 100% because of the following views. First of all, government ensures national security. First of all, the most important of the government is to ensure that in a country there is security. So this is how the procedure is done. First of all, the government protects the international security by preventing the outside attackers and also maintain internal peace. Not only that, it also supports anyone who is in the country and also protects people with their lives and their properties. So not only that, but for the private sectors, they can't be trusted because they are profit driven and only they come so that they can get profit in what they do. But only the government which have access to command the military army so that maybe in a certain area if there is a war, the army of a certain country can participate in attacking those offenders who want to enter in a country. So, one day the President Paul Kagame stated as, security is the foundation of everything else. Without it, there can be no development. So, without security in a country, nothing you can achieve because you don't have security and you are no longer living in peace. And usually when people live in disagreement, there is nothing they can achieve. Secondly, government is in charge of tax redistribution. So the key function of the government is to redistribute taxes in its citizens. So this is how it is done. First of all, the government go in all parts of the country and collect taxes from individual or maybe from the business. So then these taxes are redistributed to the people who are in need of it. Not only that, they are also used in building public places so that the people can join and get what they need. First of all, these taxes can be used in building hospitals, churches. Yeah, not only churches are built by the owner who wants to establish a church. Also the government participates in that activity. And also in building hospitals. So, and also not only that, the government makes sure that every person have access to reach on the service he or she wants. Here there is an example. In recent years or in the recent few months, to join a public school was only 900 Rwandan francs. You see that even though you can be a poor, you can't miss the money to access the school. So our government is so pretty and so beautiful and so highly in solving our problems. So one day I fell sick, then I joined the hospital of private and they charged a lot of money, but I wondered, how am I being charged this a lot of money? But when I joined the public one, only to show those treatment signs, and also I was charged only 250 Rwandan francs. You see the difference between those two things. So by concluding, I can say that government play a big role in solving our problems rather than the private one did.
Opposing motion, you may grant permission to enter out. As long as you still have time, grant it. Receive the third speaker from opposing side. Receive the third speaker from opposing side.
Judges, dear proposition side, dear opposer side, honestly, I'm very grateful to be here in front of you. And I feel super phlogistic to be here. Guys, I'm here for representative of just Paysannat LOA. And then I'm here for convince you that the topic there, the problem of nation, are better solved by the private sector rather than the government. Okay? And then what I am here to tell you is that you have to know that government is a group of people, or is a body that's mentioned, all that established laws and policies for the government and protect the people within their property. Okay? And then other things you have to know. Governments do a project that is very larger, and if that project or that project that they done, if it's been cancelled, all country will be endangered. Okay? Do you understand me? If you understand me, you have to know that government is better than private sector. And then I have a question here. If private sector are better than a government, who will protect those people who is a poor for being protected? If they are being violencing, if they are interrupting them, who will protect them is a government. You have to know that. Okay? And then another things you have to know here, the government is not a business. Okay? If it's not a business, also another thing you have to know about the private sector. Act for their profit. And that profit will not affect all of citizens. If you pay a tax, if you pay anything for the government, I understand you. That is your profit, is not a profit. Yeah, I think that if you pay that money or that's anything for the government, will be protecting your business, will not protect what those things. And then another thing you have to know here, what you use, everything you use in your life, even those land, even everything you do that is a peacefully is in the hand of governments. Everything you do, it's in the wings of government. Okay? And another thing you have to know here, before you do any business, you have to go to be registered in the RDB. Okay? In that RDB will light your business. If they disagree and that they see that will never have any positive effect on the government, on the citizen, will not agree with that business. Will reject them? Okay? Then another thing you have to know here. In the government, there is many. If there is another thing you have to know, those poor peoples in every sectors, every district, even they are poor, and you are saying that the government cannot know their problem because of the fall of the government. No, you have to know what we call administrative. Administrative containing all position, all people, even those governor, those sector leaders, those what we call the seller leaders, those are able to know the problem of those poor and they report to the executive position. And then the time His Excellency or anybody who is in times of doing anything they can solve. Another thing, the private sectors, they cannot do any infrastructure in a country. The government have a right to make a road that's coming from Kigali to Kilehe. Whom private sector can you tell me that with the road from there Kigali to Maham? Okay, you understand that governments have the able to do many things done. Even though the private sector they do much than the government, they do something than a government. It's not better than a government. You have to know that. Okay, you understand me? And if you will understand me, that you have to know private sector are not much cope than a government. Okay? And then don't continue telling us the government. Thank you very much for listening me. God bless you.
Deny or grant? You grant the point of introduction? Then the lies.
Mr. Speaker, before I answer the question you have asked, you were asking that the private sector, you asked that if the private sector want to solve the problem of the nation, what will the government do or what will be the good? But before I answer you, I was astonished when you were still being confused about the motion, because the motion stated that this House requests that the problem of the nation are better solved by the private sector rather than the government. First of all, I don't know the reason you are abolishing that word regret. First of all, the word regret means becoming sorrow. So I don't know the reason you are abolishing that. So I can, before I answer that question will be answered by you, because you are the one to support the side of private sector. So we are the one to ask you that question. So I think you have answered. Thanks.
Opposing side speaks. The MC may hand over the microphone to the audience.
Thank you. As I'm here by the name of Denise Nyiranizeimana, according to your question, saying that we are not be able to understood what the motion said that. According to the MC you have been received, the motion we have said that the problems of the nation are better solved by the private sector rather than the government sector without regarding for that house regrets. Thank you.
The views from the audiences for the last speakers.
Okay, thank you. If you say that this house regrets, why do you eliminate the word this house regrets? If you say that this house regrets means that, wait, this house means that the judges and the debaters, they regret, they feel sorrow. The problem of nation is being solved by the private sector instead of government. They feel sorry about this one. The problem is being solved by the what's called that's why why do you eliminate? You know the word regret. Regret means to feel sorrow. To feel sorrow, please. Yeah, okay, thank you.
Dear audience, follow your instructions.
And dear judges, how can you compare 90% and 10 remaining for the private sector? This gives the government more efficient to be good solvers of the problem of the nation. Second point is about that the private sector may fail or may go down due to the monopolist and the information asymmetry or lack of competition. We know that the private sector are more motivated by all their competition because they see what they do, they also to bring more innovation. But when they lack information asymmetry or they lack their competition, they will go down. An example, in 2008, financial crisis was partly due to the regulated market failure that leads to the financial crisis. And according to the International Monetary Fund, the market failure is around the 40 to 60% of the economic efficiency in various sectors. The third point is about what Mahatma Gandhi and Martin Luther King Jr. talked about. These people talked about that the injustice anywhere, there is justice everywhere. And also they talked about overcoming the problem of poverty is not a gesture of charity, but the act of justice. They was pointing that the problem and the problem of the nation are better solved by the government, and talking that the intervention of the government is more essential needed to be addressing the problem of the nation and also addressing the systematic justice. And on the fourth topic I talk about is vulnerable groups. Vulnerable groups include children, widowers, and also the poorest people. Government people support vulnerable groups. Yeah, but the government, but the private sector, they only rely on profit. And then when they support those vulnerable groups, it means that they are supporting equality and equality. That's where around the world we are moving forward by not lifting the one behind, going together. And dear judges, I can conclude by saying that this is a good choice by thinking that government is better to be good solvers of the problem of the nation. And I can show you the mistakes that was done by the opposition team. They was being confused about the motion, and also they didn't understand where the motion, because the motion was saying that this house was the problem of the nation are better solved by the private sector rather than the government. I don't know the reason. And also I was astonished by just understanding, being confused about the motion. I don't know the reason they are regretting they are abolishing the word regrets. And also it is included in the motion. I don't know, even it is written there. There is a point that support that these house regrets. Why are they abolishing? Dear judges, I think that this is our time to win this debate session. Thanks.
The fourth speaker from opposing side to answer the questions and submit their case as well as concluding the motion.
Hello everyone. My name is Kayana Jori. I'm from the opposition side. I have come here to oppose this motion from the start until the end. I don't know why you are confused of this motion. We come here to oppose this motion, not to propose. But until now, you are not here to understand. We have come here to oppose this motion, which states that the problems of the nation are better solved by the government rather than the private sector. I don't know why you are still out of this motion. Here, I'm sure. The first point, the government ensures essential services. It ensures it reduces equal inequality by impacting units on both poor and rich. It controls monopolies. The government focuses on welfare. Here I mean, the government provides all services to all citizens, like the education service, healthcare service, and the security. All those services are equal to all citizens. You are on the side of the proposition. You are on the private sector, not on the government sector. That's why I conclude strongly opposing the motion, saying that the problems of the nation are better solved by the government rather than the private sector. Thank you very much.